So this is our homeschool gradebook and assignment dashboard, currently on revision 5.0. And this will be a short tutorial overview and kind of a demo of the product and how it works. So before we get started, I normally cover this in all the videos. There is a password to unlock the file. So a quick note is the password doesn't unlock the About or Password tab. It's only designed to unlock the remaining tabs in the workbook. The first two tabs are part of our standard tabs, and again, you can unlock them. For the remaining of the tabs, you can use the password that's in here. However, I will note that everything that you need to interact with in the file is either going to be a white box or like a beige drop down, and those aren't locked, so you should never have to unlock the file in order to use it. Although we understand some people like to, because to change colors or formatting or fonting or things like that. If you do unlock it, be careful. Everything that's locked is locked for a reason, to protect the file and protect the formulas, etc. If you do want to unlock it, we now include a link. So the link will take you to a quick 2-minute YouTube video, and it'll walk you through step by step of using that passcode to unlock the workbook. So for the homeschool dashboard, so it's been a while since I've looked at this file, so we're going to kind of learn this together real quick today. So I will note that this is the homeschool gradebook, and we do have a student gradebook, and although nearly identical, they're set up a little bit different. So the student gradebook is going to be for a whole class. Each dashboard represents one class, and then each tab is per student. So this will be a reflection of a student, which is why we call it the student gradebook. The homeschool gradebook is this dashboard represents one student, and then you have the course per student. We've done it different ways, and we have, if you have something custom that you want or slight different variation, we might already have a copy. So just, email us, ask questions, and we can probably hook you up with what you're looking for. So the way this works, the homeschool gradebook will kind of go through. So you're going to set your student name for the dashboard, and you're going to pick your grade level, and this is just optional. It's just a visual. So what will happen is you'll see the 4th, 5th. If I go to course 1, you'll see the student name and then the grade level that's on the tab, and that's all it's for. So we'll go back to that dashboard. And then you've got your categories. So these are basically your syllabus or your grading categories, and you got up to 10. And each of these are going to roll into the course tabs, which we'll cover more as we go. And the same with the grade weights. So you got a syllabus category and then a syllabus weight right below it. And all this will roll into the student tabs. And we'll come back to the kind of charts, what they say, and then also this feature here. So let's go to the next one. We'll come back to course list. Let's see, gradebook scale. So all the students, all the grading is done on a scale. So you'll notice if I look in the course tab, you got a grade up here to the top right, so an A-. So that A- is based on the grade of 90%, which is based on the grading scale. So 93, anything over, so a 90 between 93 is an A-. So this is your gradebook scale. You can customize it, although I think this is a pretty standard scale for a 4.0. And then you do have the course list. So we'll come back to this a little bit. This is basically a data table. It's a summary. It pulls all the information from all these courses. One thing I will note while we're here is you can go ahead and pre-populate this with all the courses that you want in the dashboard for the student. You can have up to 25 per student, and if you need more than that, you can make a copy of the workbook. Of course, it works that way. So you'll notice the tab name, Course 1, Course 2, it directly corresponds, whoops, I didn't mean to click on that, corresponds to the course name at the bottom. So Course 1, dang it, clicked on it again. So Course 1, Course 1. You'll also notice the course name is Math. So if I go into Course 1, it's going to say Math. If I go back to that course list, so Course 2 is English. If I go to Course 2, it's going to say English. So your course list is a real quick, if you have several course tabs in here, it's a really quick directory to, so you remember which course is on which tab. And that's essentially it for the course list and summary. Again, it's going to pull from each of these course tabs, it's going to pull all the information in. Now let's go to the kind of bread and butter. So this is the actual course tab. We'll start and kind of go through again top to bottom. So you've got your header, which is a function of several different inputs that come in throughout the workbook and then this course tab itself. Everything in gray and blue up here is really just a summary. It's math taking place based on as you fill out the actual assignments and the curve details, which we'll talk about. So let's look at, I guess we'll go over the assignment table first. So if you remember the class categories, so if I go back to the dashboard, these categories here, that's going to be your category you can select from for your different assignments. So you can select your category, select your assignment. We'll come back to this, the actual versus hypothetical, and then plug in your actual grade. So from this, with your actual grade in place, you'll see up here at the top, so you'll have your curriculum categories. So that's the same as these. So this pulls from the dashboard, and then you're going to get a grade weight, which you assigned. So again, this table comes directly from the dashboard, so your category and your grade weight. But as you plug in, so you'll see the class exercises down here, and I've got 4 grades. So class exercises. So this overall scoring is a summary of your actual assignment information. So class exercises is 4, so I've got 4 of those. Average is 90%, and then the total weighted is the 90% basically times the 10, so that gives you your 9%. So as you add assignments in here, it's going to populate, update your counts, update your weighting, and then give you a total grade weight across all your things. So if you have, of course, if you have tests or exams that carry a lot more weight, they're going to carry a higher grade impact. Now, back to the actual versus hypothetical. This is really just a feature. It's a visual. It doesn't do anything outside of being a visual, but let's say towards, the end of the year or middle of the year, if you're homeschooling somebody else's children and they want to update, hey, how's my student doing? What's the progress look like? How are they performing overall? How could they perform if they've been struggling? So this enables you to add some hypothetical grades in. So again, it's just a tag. It doesn't do anything physically, but it just gives you a visual to say, look, these assignments in this case haven't taken place. Maybe it's a midterm. You'll see the grade change there. But when I plug in midterm and I add in a hypothetical, hey, look, if you got a 75 on the midterm, this is going to be your final grade. Again, it's just a visual. Let me take that back out. You'll see that grade had changed back to a 90. And then on top of that, you've got an assignment curve. So for the curve, it's automatically set to 1. It's set for the entire course tab. But you can change it. So if you had several students that struggled on a certain assignment or a certain whatever, you can, maybe it's a 1.1 or a 1.2, or it was too easy, you can curve it down. But it's a standard feature that I rolled into the student workbook, which is going to be more typical, a typical classroom, but for the homeschool gradebook, I left it in here. Now, again, all these course tabs are identical. So there's really not much more to cover on the course tab, but I will note, you'll see this curve detail. So let's pretend for a scenario that you wanted to print this out. So this is designed to be a nice, pretty report card. It's got all your syllabus categories, the number of assignments, the actual grades, but maybe you've had curved some things and you don't want to show that information. So if I go to my dashboard, you'll see hide curves in course reports. So if I just select yes, and I go back to that, that's gone. So when I print this out, none of the curve information is in the sheet. So if you decide you wanted to hide that and didn't want to share that with students, or didn't want to share that with parents, you have the option of doing so. So I'll turn that back to no. Now, one additional feature is, so if I'm looking at my dashboard, these graphs and everything are a reflection of the course list summary, which is a reflection of all the course tabs. Now, you'll notice for course, as an example, course 2, all my information is pulling in. So I'm going to do another scenario. Let's say you started teaching one course and maybe you change your mind or whatever the case may be, and you no longer want that on the student's curriculum for the year, but you want to keep the history or whatever the case may be, or you just don't want it reflected in the grade. So if you go to course 2, you'll see the link to dashboard. So again, before I click it, so you'll see course 2 was English, that's in your chart. It's averaging in all your syllabus categories, and it's going to average down here as well. And in your course list, it's going to pull. So if I go to course 2, and I just simply say, nope, I no longer want to link this course to any data. So the history stayed the same, nothing moved, nothing shifted, but within the dashboard, it's now gone. And in the course list, it's going to say, you see it says link course tab. So it basically just changed. So ultimately, it's not affecting your total weight and all your averages across all the different courses. So it's just another neat little feature that you can use if you wanted to. Again, that was built in with the student grades book in the event that you had a student leave in the middle of the year and you wanted to take their math out of your total grading. It was a quick button click to do so. I feel like there's one other thing I wanted to cover. Oh yeah, so adding course tabs. It's really, really simple. So if I go to the course template, it's got some information in here, but generally it won't matter. So the next course number, you see this is course 5. So if I go to move or copy, create a copy, and I'm going to move it down here, and this is just where I'm placing the tab at. So I'll hit OK. You'll see course template 2. And I'm just going to name that to course, well, that's not right. And that's not right either. Course 6. Enter. Now watch. So course 6, it doesn't have a name, it just says course 6. So if I go to course list, so here's course 6, it's now pulling in the table, and then I could change the name. Let's say this was, I'll do science, right? So course 6, and if I go back to that, now it says science, and that was it. That's all I had to do, they add the tab. So if you ever want to add a course at any point in time, it's that simple to add one. Now I'll go back to, and we'll just unlink that because I don't want that in there. And that's essentially it. So if I go back to the dashboard, you've got an overall grade by course, and then you've got an average grade by syllabus category. And this is a nice tool if you're, certain categories, whether it's homework or projects or whatever the case may be. If you're struggling, if you see struggling in one area, where the student might need some additional help outside of, other areas, or maybe they're not doing their homework, and that's something you can address with a parent. But again, this is designed to reflect one student. So in the event that you have multiple students, of course you only need to buy the workbook once, but you can make copies for yourself for additional students. But that's it. If you have any additional questions, reach out. We do have guides that come with all the products, PDFs. There may be additional details in there and things that I didn't think about or cover. One in particular is you'll see a lot of notes, a lot of built-in notes. So if you hover over the little red triangles, there's a lot of information, and sometimes there's examples, especially in the course tabs. There's some things it covers. So anyway, again, if you got questions, reach out, and thanks for watching.